2 brilliants in a single game. Welcome to Brilliant Farming 2. I'm going to go ahead and now discuss my thought process while playing this game and, the brilliancies that I embark on. But, so yeah, I start with C4. I'm white, and my opponent, SDK_UB, is black. And, yep, C4, classic English. That's the opening that I play. I really love the English. Play it all the time. All right, so he starts with a knight to f6. Very flexible move, book move. So I develop my knight to c3, book move as well. All standard move, e6. I'd understand this move to be a little bit passive, as you want to take control in the center with like something close to a reverse Sicilian type of move, or like an Anglo-Scandinavian, immediately challenging this pawn. But nothing wrong with e6, especially according to the engine. It's book. G3, book move, simple idea. Look to fianchetto my bishop and continue my development. Okay, now he plays d5, which I guess was the initial idea of e6, playing d5 so that you could support that attack in the center, because I did already develop my knight, and if you didn't commit earlier, you have to set that up. Takes, fair trade. And I play the best move, which is d4, just disallowing him to push that pawn and kick my knight and kind of just wedge that pawn in the center of the board. So pretty simple. He plays a6. Again, I'm not too fond of these moves right here where you if my knight was here and you were kicking it, I'd be like, sure, but I feel like that's wasted tempo. It's not the best move. So yeah, the best move was to develop your bishop, make faster moves, but again, you're not losing by any means, and it does prevent my knight from ever coming here in case maybe I did have some ideas. So yeah, I'm assuming, about to say, I finished my development, fianchettoing my bishop. All right, and now he makes his first mistake of the game, playing e6. Again, if you look at the eval bar though, it's not anything too crazy, this mistake. 0.8 is a reasonable advantage, but it's nothing where, typically only computers can take advantage of that unless I squeeze him out the rest of the game, start feeling comfortable. But e6 was a mistake. The computer wanted him to play c6. I'm trying to see if I can make out quickly what the issue is. Wow, so yeah, I don't think I was finding knight to h3, which is a very unorthodox way of developing the knight. I guess maybe they wanted me to develop here and then put my knight on this square is my assumption. Now threatening this bishop, threatening this pawn, and we got a strong attack going right there. That's my assumption. I don't really know because this is such an unorthodox move. But again, developing the knight, you can't go wrong with it. We're talking about 0.2, 0.6 advantages, nothing too detrimental, especially if you're under 2,000. And I'm under 2,000, so neither of us are really gonna like see this and win the rest of the game off of it. Develops his knight, c6, good move. I castle. Right, he brings his bishop e7, all good development principles. I decided to slide my rook up. Apparently I had a better option to trade off knights. I don't like doubling my pawn structure like this, but I guess it does kick his knight, putting it in a bit of an uncomfortable situation. So I guess this was deemed a good move. Again, sliding over to the center on e. I just can't see that as being too bad of a move. So he castles now. I launch my pawn within the center, which is the first time in the game that I actually lose my advantage. The best move was still to offer a trade. Takes. I guess that does isolate one of my pawns, so probably not the greatest trades for me. But again, I slid the rook over to prepare for a break in the center, so I enacted with my plan. He takes, I take, and he slides his knight up. Better move for him was to just recapture the piece. Again, we're dealing with really minimal advantage shifts, so nothing too detrimental. Although if you I guess that shows the difference between like a 2,000 elo player and up, where all these really small nuances they'd probably be able to spot and take advantage of. Us, good development principles, none of us are blundering pieces. We're still kind of having a a tactical warfare going on in the center. So still a really good game. And then I follow up with a good move here, looking to trade off the bishops. So we trade off our bishops, and he slides his bishop back. A better move was to pin my knight with his bishop, which would have forced me, or I guess not forced, but I know myself, and I immediately don't like this pin on the queen, so I probably would look to do something like that, especially if he can somehow get his knight in later and do all types of stuff. I'm just not comfortable with that, so I would have committed that pawn forward, the h pawn, but he decides to bring his bishop back. Arguably not a great move, because now it also blocks the queen scope of the knight here. So I could probably, get my queen active and launch some kind of attacks on the knight, forcing you to do something about it. And then I could, maybe fork his pieces here. Yeah, I didn't fully calculate the lines, but I can see how this isn't a great move. I could see that he doesn't want to lose his bishop. But again, there were definitely some better options. You go here, I kick it, maybe slide back here and here. Maybe even go here, because I don't think there's an immediate threat. Oh, maybe bishop there. So maybe there would be a threat there. But yeah, I'm sure there were just a few better options for him right there. I slide my queen here. So yeah, apparently b3 was the better move, a move I actually just pointed out. Forking his knight and pawn. I guess it's not a full fork. He could slide his piece back here, but no, because then I'd probably be able to infiltrate with knight takes. Not quite. That actually doesn't work. Forcing the bishop move to a passive square. Okay. Again, very minimal stuff. Very minimal positional stuff going on. This game is starting to get really like kind of throwing feints, throwing jabs. We don't know who's going to really see an opening and take it. We don't know who's going to do that. So it's starting to get intense. I understand my idea here, and I actually don't hate it. Simple checkmate threat, enacting him to push the pawn, maybe even sacking the knight and some type of line. But just kind of provoking and prodding. Again, you don't want to get caught not throwing any jabs, because if we're playing this game and we're kind of bobbing and weaving and moving around, if he throws more jabs than me, eventually he'll land one, and I won't have thrown jabs. So I'm trying to fight back. I'm trying to get something going. He plays there. Oh, I'm sorry, I said play there to kick. That would have still been mate, but he plays there to stop checkmate. So now I've opened up his dark square lines. I don't have a dark square bishop though, so it's not too detrimental. But I was still happy. Now I bring my queen up, attacking that knight, which he weakened earlier. He slides the knight back. I bring my queen right back. Simple. He brings his bishop. I failed to see this move. He brings his bishop though, and I failed to see this move, because now this just gives him tempo. He gets to attack the piece, open up the lines to this pawn, and I'm forced to move my queen. Not looking good, because he's got 3 pieces attacking my pawn now. It's looking like he's gonna win a free pawn. And I want to make sure that we're on. Okay. Now at this point, I'm going to turn off the best move lines, just so you can't see what the best moves are. And here I played d2, excellent move, playing behind this pawn right here. Smart, reinforcing the pawn with just a little bit of extra protection. Slides the queen up. Best move, because I'm sorry, I said the pawn was being attacked 3 times. It's not being attacked 3 times, so he cannot take the pawn when I'm protecting it. So I bring my knight over, simply just looking to attack the queen. If he takes, I reinforce. I get my rook up, maybe looking to slide my rook over to some sacrifice lines, things of that nature. He takes, which is actually a great move. I take back with the rook f8, and I double up my rooks on the file. An excellent move. He immediately just doesn't want me to get too much kind of play over there. So, but I double up my rooks. I'm looking to get both my rooks active, not immediately just looking to slide the rook over and play what I want to play. He takes. We trade knight c4, deemed an inaccuracy because there was just a better way to control more squares with the knight. I slide my queen on h6. Best move. He plays f6, which is a detrimental mistake, potentially weakening the king's safety. He's now committed 2 of the pawns in front of his king, up 2. And you could argue that this is getting a little weak. My back rank is getting a little weak, but my attack is just so strong. My attack is just so strong right now. It's not looking great, and my advantage has grown to 2.4 in this game. And mind you, I played two brilliants this game, and we haven't even seen a brilliant yet. So I slide my rook over, and that's actually deemed a miss. The better option was to move a bishop to a more active position. So it was actually get my bishop there, repairing some lines like checks and all that. But I missed that. Looking for my threat over there. Best move, protects it. I now slide my pawn up to d5. Looking to kick the knight, you know, get some stuff going. Kick the knight, jump in with the knight, get some lines there, jump in right there. You know, now my knight's covering all these squares. You know, I'm looking to get my pieces in there. Well, he plays knight e5. Best move. I jump in with knight d4. You know, obviously looking to get my knight in there too, but he's looking to get this knight in there as well. But he can't play there. That'd be check, mate soon. Or not mate soon, but that'd be check and I'd be infiltrating, and that's not good. And this is the beginning of his mistakes. I don't know if he got too greedy. I don't know if he just couldn't understand the position. I don't know what happened, because we are at even material. Our material is completely even. And after these next 5 moves, I have a brilliant masterclass, and he has unfortunately drops a few different mistakes here. I jump in with the knight, which is actually deemed an inaccuracy, but I mean, if you're black and you're looking at this position right here, man, you are not happy with my knight anchored, my queen and rook right there. You are just not happy. So I play, or afterwards, he plays knight to c5, shuffling the knights, and unfortunately, he missed my resource. d6, a brilliant move, because if he takes the pawn right here, I'm just trying to make sure I calculate it right, because I don't even want to use the engine, because I played these moves. He takes the pawn. I can now slide my bishop in on this diagonal right here, and there's nothing that he can do about it, because I'm going to move with a discovered check. And I think eventually let's make sure my lines are correct. Best move. Yep, great move. My idea was basically to free up the lines for the bishop, and basically the next move I'm just looking to decimate him, because I can, let's say he plays something like this right here. It's just, there's nothing you could do. I jump in here with the check. You can try to block it, but getting in here, there's nothing you can do to block it actually. So if you slide the rook up there, check, slide over there, checkmate in 2, boom, 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 and that's checkmate in the back rank. It is just, and if you can't obviously you can't take the knight, because now I'm just infiltrating, and that's mate, or not quite mate, depending on, yeah, I guess he can get out of there, but it's not looking good. It is not looking good. I'm infiltrating. I'm playing like here. He plays there. That'd be a mistake, because that's actually mate now, so he'd have to play, oh, he has to put the queen. He has to bring the queen over there. But then I play here, and goodness gracious, now I pin your queen, and it's just wraps. Or that's checkmate. Oh no, he could block again though. He could block again, and then goodness, I play here, and my god, what do you do? Oh, that's checkmate too. Oh, what is his best move in this scenario? Like, oh, knight back. His best move is knight block. And then, wow, can I push? No, I could play, bishop here now. Yeah, I could play bishop here and I'm winning a piece. Now I'm just going up a piece. You can't really do anything. I'm taking. You could try to slide over. I'm pinning your queen. Like, d6 is a crazy move. I'm just hanging a piece. I'm hanging 2 of my pieces just to open up the lines for a bishop. I'm literally hanging 2 of my pieces. So he plays queen f7. Another mistake. Simple. He's just like, you know, I don't want to lose my queen. I need to make sure that I'm still guarding this pawn right here. It's the only thing guarding this pawn. I play the bishop here anyway, because I've got lines. And honestly, I'm wondering if I honestly play knight like here. I play knight here as my discovered attack, blocking off all of these squares. Check, check, checkmate soon. That's honestly what I'm thinking. Either way, it's not looking good for him. Let's see what he plays next. c6. Simply looking to kick my bishop. And I play the brilliant move because I finally got my bishop on a diagonal. It was such a brilliant sacrifice. But now it's like, oh, what do I do? Any way I move, I'm just gonna lose that bishop. There's no pin. There's no real attack. You know, do I slide my bishop back? But his knights are all infiltrating, so there's not much I can do. I play the brilliant move. Knight g5. Knight g5. The simple idea of the queen is now pinned. The queen is now pinned. The queen is pinned. This is mate and 1. There's just nothing you can do about it. Because if you take my knight, I'm going to take your queen with check. And then I'm going to play check with the queen and keep my queen and rook. And now you're just down a queen. If you take the bishop with the queen, I'm now going to take right here. And what's his move? He plays here. That's his only move. Let me make sure that's his only move. Yep, the only force move. And I'm playing here. He can't play any of these moves, so he has to play. I guess he goes again. We're in the similar line where he could go here hypothetically, block with the queen, but then I get a check, and then I get another check, and then we're back where we were before. It's mate and 3 on the board. You see, there's absolutely nothing you can do in this position, and you can't even move the queen because it's pinned. So you had to take, but now you're losing, and you can take with the pawn now, but with this knight move, I now am just gonna take your queen with my knight, and that's just wraps. And there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Too brilliant, man. So he takes my bishop. I take his queen. I convert. I'm grabbing the pawn now. He's sliding over. I'm checking him again. I'm forcing him out, man. I'm forcing him out. And I push the pawn, basically saying, "Hey, you've got to take the pawn. I'm going to grab your knight too with check. I'm going to eventually with that check, I think that'd be almost mate in 2-ish. Almost. There's some lines. When you're down this much material, it's over. So those are my 2 brilliant back-to-back moves in order to grab the win in this situation. All because of the early poking and prodding. And when things started to get too intense and too hot around his king, He ends up making a few mistakes. He never developed this rook. Imagine never moving this rook. I've got all these pieces off. I've got no pieces back here but the king and just a few pawns, and he has his rook right there. He hasn't even touched, and my pieces have been dancing around the board. This is why you develop your pieces, so that you can get in line for these brilliant maneuvers and these brilliant finds and do your puzzles. Because I was extremely proud of not just one sacrifice, but 2 sacrifices. Once he didn't fall for my first one, he said, nope, not going for it. I played a secondary sacrifice, finding the win and besting my opponent in this one. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and tune in for next time.